All right, so question 5. What type of injury do you think is worse? So, using the evidence from the text, we've seen advantages and disadvantages of both. Let's see.
It just seems worse. Like, I understand that internal bleeding is a thing, but I'd rather have like excruciating pain inside my head than like be condemned forever to have like a pole stuck through my head or something like that. So I said open brain injury.
All right, very interesting. What I want you to do, Toby, is highlight something that supports that in the text. I think you made some really good points, and I think you'll be able to find something there. Ella?
I think a closed brain injury is worse because it just is like a big headache because you can feel the pressure building up in your brain, and that's not that comfortable. And apparently he has an open brain injury, so he doesn't necessarily feel it. I mean, he probably does, but it's probably not as bad as it would have been because there's so much pressure inside of your head. Yeah.
All right, good point. Find something in the text that supports that. So now we're going to go to activity number 3, and you're going to go into groups. So the great thing is you don't know until you get in your group. I've actually grouped some of you based on your response that both said open brain injury, it's the worst. I've also grouped some of you. One person has open brain injury as their item, another has closed brain injury as their item. So we are going to go into breakouts in a little bit, but head on over to activity number 3. We are going to use the text as the referee. So hopefully you did go back and find something in the text that supports your answer. And I want you to work on this. So based on your reading of the text, what were the factors that enabled Phineas to survive? Record your initial response to the question and include evidence from the text that supports your view. So once you find your evidence from the text, remember you can just go ahead and highlight, and you can actually copy that, and then you can paste it in the box. All right, so that's another thing that you can do. I want you to spend some time answering that question. Hit next or select next. We're going to go to card number 2. And here you'll see that you're going to type in your partner's name when you get in your breakout groups. And then you're going to have a discussion. So we're going to talk about this, your response, and you're going to try to convince your partners. Remember that you did have to use evidence from the text. And here are some discussion starters all the way at the bottom in blue on your screen. So if you're not sure how to share or explain or even make a comment, when you hear your partner's response, those are right there for you to have that discussion.
So I wrote that like it went at an angle, and so it went through his chin, and that lost speed as it came to his head, and that he was elevated so he didn't get blood loss, and that's some of the reasons why. Or yours?
I'm gonna say I think my answer is correct because the text says his brain was open to plain sight. So that means that his brain wasn't like impaled. It was like it was the rod came at an angle so you could see the brain, but it didn't go straight through the brain.
Okay, so it went like, wait, so, oh, I see. Actually, that makes much more sense than mine. But and I also think that the blood loss was that he was elevated, and that was the reason, and there's evidence for that. And there's like room for like tissue to fall out. I agree with yours more than I agree with mine now, I guess.
So click next. And what you're going to notice here is that you have your original prompt in this space. So whatever you wrote at the very beginning of our conversation to answer this question, it's going to be right there in card number 3. And then you're going to skip a line and really talk about how the discussion with your partner changed, deepened, or confirmed your understanding. So that's what you're going to do. If you need some more help, use these sentence starters to go ahead and answer the question. Here is your prompt question. And type in this box, my only requirement is at least 100 words. You don't have to count all the words, because once you start typing, remember, it's going to start counting at the bottom of your screen. Okay, so you'll see the words right there, but at least 100 words, and then I want you to hand in. So if you're finished handing it in, you're actually at 100 words, then I want you to answer the poll question, and then we'll have a little discussion. Okay,
Mine's 99 words long.
I'll take it. So we have majority of you said, I did not change my mind about the reasons for Phineas's survival. And then poll question number 2, wow, this is interesting. 50% of you said evidence from the text most influenced your thinking. A few of you said evidence or concepts I know from outside the text, so that's interesting. And then someone said talking through the problem with another person. So very interesting moments right here within. And this is where we can kind of compare the two poll moments. Before you sign off, remember, you're going to hand your exit ticket in. And then we would, of course, have solos. Mobile solos are there. But I want everyone to complete their exit ticket and hand in. If you need to stay on longer, you have any questions, feel free to do so. But once your exit ticket's in, you are golden. There are 2 questions for your exit ticket, so please make sure you scroll all the way to the bottom and answer those questions.